after the mid-session interval. And frame 6 underway. And Stephen Maguire has got to somehow get back into this match, and you don't feel he's going to do it in bits and pieces, so I think we've got to look for some probably more high scoring. His highest break at the moment, only 44. It's not good enough at this level. He knows that. Not telling him anything he doesn't know, but can he get in? Can he get the chances? I think he has had opportunities to have a better break than that.
He's certainly not going to get chances with safety play like that from Ronnie O'Sullivan, who has, on first glimpse of a view from my perspective, cut off every avenue and path back to baulk. So Stephen Maguire is more or less, he could swerve around between the yellow and the blue and perhaps clip the red thin. That's too risky. He's more or less obligated to lay into the pack unless it's the 2-cushion escape back to baulk. So difficult, these.
Foul and a miss.
We saw a free ball left from one of these earlier. Ronnie O'Sullivan looking at the long 2-ball plant. Stephen Maguire, bit of a murmur in the crowd there. Stephen Maguire more or less getting ready to play the shot again, but he's got to give the respect to Ronnie to make his mind up before he puts him back in. Stephen expecting to be put back in.
Yeah, as you can see, it's not a plant. I'd be surprised if Ronnie doesn't have the balls replaced. And the reason I say that is because there was a gap between the yellow and the blue. You couldn't play safe off it, but that puts pressure on this 2-cushion escape, because 3 misses and you can forfeit the frame.
Yes, the bizarre rule for the mistakes is that you've got to be able to see a full ball, I think. So technically, if Stephen Maguire can see this red full, even though he can't hit either side of it, it effectively goes down as a hittable ball. And I think the ruling would be you'd have to hit this in 3 goes, as you say, John. Strange rule, strange how it's been set up. So now, will he get warned again? Should Ronnie O'Sullivan decide to put him back in? Same place.
Yeah, we'll listen for referee Arian Williams, but I think he will be warned. He can get through the gap to hit this red full in the face. Let's listen.
Unless they've changed the rule, John, I don't keep my ear firmly to the ground on the rule. If Arian Williams thinks that he can hit full ball on this, unless they've changed the rules.
You have your position. Further up. Look there. I think you've got a full ball that you can hit in between the yellow and the blue.
He's explaining that he can hit full ball, so he's warning him.
Down the path.
All of a sudden, Steve Maguire's collapsed in a heap. He didn't realise the rule. He's now thinking, how unfair is this? I'm effectively snookered on this ball. I can't hit it, but because I can hit full ball, I have to hit a red. How cruel.
Can he afford to play the 2-cushion escape again? Because if he does, and he doesn't hit the reds, he'll lose the frame.
He's having a scratch of the head. The ear roll's going to get some work here as well, I think. He's having a chat about the rule. He doesn't really realise.
I had a look down before the first shot.
Did you?
Yeah, I went down. Well, have a look.
And have a look, so
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering whether it was in the same place, the ball, but I think we know that that's probably about right.
Well, Stephen, what do? You're 4-1 behind. You can hit the red full in the face. Do you just make certain you hit the red?
I think there is a path of 2 cushions to go into the gap in between the 2 reds. That he could try and bury the white ball in the middle of the pack. Smashing the balls all over the place is not necessarily an option, I don't think. Whatever he does, if he plays any type of roll into the pack, he's got to err on the hard side. He cannot afford to underhit anything.
But most importantly, he's got to hit one. If he doesn't, he'll lose the frame. Well, not his choice, obviously. He would rather have played something else but that, but it was imperative he hit the red, otherwise he'd have gone 5-1 behind.
Yes, and very cleverly he chose a path that absolutely guaranteed there was no gaps. Couldn't attempt to try and use the bulk colours to hide Stephen Maguire behind there, so concentrated on getting that cue ball as tight as possible to the bulk cushion, and what a great effort he made of it. Steve Maguire has two shots, the thin red or the thicker red by the pink spot. That's a more aggressive safety shot and will open the reds up more, and perhaps 4-1 behind he may choose this thicker contact to try and force the pace. Trying to get something going in the match, isn't he, John?
Yes, when you're 4-1 down, then you've got to try and make things happen. It was an aggressive safety, but catching the bump in the middle pocket. He now goes back to his seat, wondering if that mistake could be costly. It all depends really on the initial red. If Ronnie can knock it in, get position on a colour, you fancy a sizable contribution. Well, look at this. Left-handed. Well, he decided to use the extension. He's not had much luck with this extension so far, has he? Wonderful pot. It really was.
I think he's got used to it now. Okay, the reds are all open, but it's not your normal run-of-the-mill break, with the black being out of commission into at least one pocket at the top of the table. I always love watching Ronnie O'Sullivan, how he goes about making a break in situations like this. I think it's a lesson to everybody in the game, not just club players, but other professionals. Just watch with their jaw open sometimes. Probably the commentator's curse here, but...
Yeah, well, funny enough you say that. He's finished up on this red. He's going to play it with the rest, and I think if he just stuns this red in, he can play for the black in the opposite corner.
We'll soon know if it goes. It goes. How quickly has he got on the black?
And with the black on its spot, now you're thinking it's a chance to make a frame-winning contribution in the blink of an eye.
think the lesson, not just club players, but also professionals should learn from
13.
watching Ronnie O'Sullivan at work, is the value of getting on the black so early. Obviously, you need to be able to pot the balls as well, but how quickly he gives himself an opportunity to make potentially frame-winning
14.
visits. And this looks, you know, you wouldn't bet against 5-1 there, would you?
$21. $22.
Well, you see 93% pot success for Ronnie. 81 for Stephen Maguire. Who would have believed that after the way he played the other day? But that's a
29.
game of snooker. When you sat in that seat, there's not a lot you can do about it. And Ronnie has played superb tonight in all aspects of the game.
30.
Not only the break building, some of his safety play has been top drawer, and if you just cast your mind back to Stephen Maguire's mistake, that was brought about by a good safety shot from Ronnie, leaving Stephen tight on the baulk cushion. Just clip that red. Now, how has it affected
37.
his position? Straighter on it, he could have rolled through and played for the black. He may have to go back up for the blue here. Well, the
38.
pink goes. The pink goes. Just looking to see, after the pink is potted, where it will go. But there's an easy red to follow in the same pocket as the pink. Well, I think the pink spot's available. Doesn't mess the reds up too much.
$44. $45.
Obviously, as the reds diminish on the table, positional
52.
play becomes more critical. Sometimes can have a bearing on a player continuing the break.
53.
Never seems to worry Ronnie O'Sullivan, though. Always seems to be able to keep great position.
Well, no matter how much skill you've got, when you run into other balls,
58.
you always need a little bit of luck. And he's gone slightly awkward here. He's on the red to the right centre. He always knew he'd have this, but he's hampered. Can't do a lot with the cue ball.
59.
And because of that, he couldn't get the right angle on the blue. But if he pots the blue, he'll go 72 points in front with 75 still left on the table. So he'll be looking for one more red.
He wouldn't put it past him to knock the blue and red in. Obviously, the blue's a formality, but got to fancy him for the red. And that awkward bridging over the reds for the other red in the middle may have been Stephen
64.
Maguire's last hope in this match, bizarrely.
65.
He's a steamroller at the moment, isn't he? A veritable juggernaut in the game. He's going to take some stopping. Should he get to the final, he's going to take some stopping, that's for certain.
Well, his all-round performance this evening has just been of the
72.
highest quality. Whether it be break building, safety. It was
73.
a good safety shot that created this chance, forced a mistake from his opponent. He's potted some tremendous balls. He's the complete snooker player, there's no doubt about that. Left or right-handed.
79. 80.
I'll just remind you once again, in the first frame this evening, he made a century break, which equalled the record of Stephen Hendry's. 41 centuries made at the Masters. So Ronnie,
85.
to break that incredible record.
86.
We should have broke it in frame 4, but Mr. Sitter of a green. Oh, wonderful shots. Deep screw, lots of left-hand side, inch perfect.
93.
Well, maybe not. He just can't get past the black. Red to the middle.
94.
And the black for the record number of centuries at Wembley and the Masters. It's there. What a tremendous achievement.
101. 102.
Well, this is what Ronnie OSullivan plays for. Talking of excitement in the game, he loves to be centre of attention.
109. That's enough, please.
Stephen Hendry still holds many records, but he likes to be a record breaker himself. I'm sure he's back in Auchterarder there in Scotland, kicking 7 bells out of his sporran.
114. 118. 123. 129.
Absolutely wonderful. Magnificent. The most centuries ever made at the Masters. But more importantly, he's just one frame away now from a place in the final.